Call of Duty Black Ops 7, we're doing a map walkthrough going over all of the multiplayer maps available within Black Ops 7. This is going to be quite an undertaking, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well, and I hope you enjoy this year's look at the maps that are present within the game of Black Ops 7. So we start with Blackheart here. This is an oil rig. It's a smaller, tighter map and a pretty straightforward one to kind of move through. So you get the open spawn where you can kind of move around to the outside there, down the middle over there, or to the left through that area. Also a little bit of a spawn spot here that you can kind of go into. You often find people that will be sort of sitting back here with a sniper rifle shooting down that way, or people looking into the middle and kind of moving through these lanes. It's not really much of a camping spot as you do sort of fluidly go through it, but you know, it's a spot that exists. Here we have the bounce walls that allow you to bounce off into different areas, depending on where you're going, either the middle or the back. And then you come around here, and you can see the spawns are relatively similar. This is usually an objective point in here, and it just kind of gives you a vantage point out there. Someone might be over there. And a lot of entrance and access goes through these doors. That's where a lot of the conflict happens, is in these really tight spaces around here, kind of fighting and spawning and moving back and forth. And then we come over here to this part of the map. Like I said, there's just kind of an open area there. You'll come over to this spot, and this is how you sort of view a central area where there's, you know, usually objective conflict and combat. And people will come from this spot and be shooting out of there. Some will be shooting from over there. And it just gives you a long vantage point to use like a sniper or a rifle or something like that. Lots of corners here to kind of move and hide around. As you can see, spots to bounce up and wall bop up from. And then around balcony area where you get a little less conflict if you're kind of using this as opposed to running down the middle. And then we get to here. This is usually spots where like an objective or two is placed, and it's a similar viewing angle to over there. It's kind of a symmetrical map. It's just got a little bit more variation, and then a little spot that you can't really hide behind, but you can use as a climb up point or a watch over point. And then it just leads back into the spawn. And then we run here, we get to the middle of the map, which is a tight space. It has a rotating center that you can use for cover, which is kind of neat. It has some walls that you can potentially bounce off of, wall bop off of. And then of course this little spot here where you get the view there, or view there, just like this area we were at previously. And it's just like a round symmetrical area. And yeah, that's basically all there is for Blackheart. And let's go on to the next one. This is Colossus, which is another symmetrical map. You can see the cut down the middle there. It's a very neat level. It's got some very open but tight rooms that you can go through. So we're going to just start by leaving from the spawn here. You don't see a lot of action in this area. Most of the conflict and such happens when you get out into these more open spaces. This map is really neat because it's quite flooded. This is where a lot of your conflict will happen in this room. There's usually an objective here, and that allows people to hide in corners like there or over there, or kind of around like these ledges and stuff. And then you get people up shooting from down there and people running up there and going over top. There's also a central middle lane. You can go down that way. Then when you come around here, it just kind of leads you into the spawn areas of either side. Again, just like mirroring the other side. As I said, it's symmetrical. It's the other spawn. And then you can choose to run down the middle if you so want to. Then we're going to go to the outside here. This area's got a lot of little cover spots that you can kind of use along the way as you kind of look around, and that leads you to this little sort of middle grounding place from the spawn. And then this area is very open. You see a lot of people use this as kind of a cover planting point. This here, I've tried to like jump around this sort of thing and bop off of it. Doesn't really work. And then the middle area, again, that's sort of where you connect down that hallway. And then we run around here, go around the outside. Again, you see the entrance point there, and you see this entrance way back into the spawn. And we go down the middle here, and you can see that we've got a bit of an open room. You can use this as a spot to kind of shoot people coming from down there, and it's similar on this side as well. You see a little bit more cover too with this central piece in the middle. And then you go out there, you go down the spot area down there. Some people hide down here, and then people jump over and they shoot them, which is kind of useful. And then of course if you're up here, you get the same vantage point from the high ground over those areas. Then when we come out here, this is the central spot I was kind of showing off. A lot of people sit up here, like myself, and shoot at people kind of going to the objective and such. And then this area is just mirroring the other spot, but slightly different. But, you know, the exact same setup because it's symmetrical. And you see a lot of people bounce off or bop off of there to get up here, which is kind of neat. And then we jump down, and we go down the middle of the map. And that is basically it. You get some little bits of cover here or there. Same with on this side if you want to use that in order to spot people. And then you just get led right back out. This is Cortex, which is another mostly symmetrical level with some slight variations on each side of it. We're going to be starting from this spawn and kind of moving around. So you can either go straight down the middle into sort of this kind of narrowing hallway where your combat happens, or you can go off to the side into the back area of the map here. That's where a lot of the conflict goes on, but we're going to be going around the edge, and this is just like a little bit of a spawn where you can like move around easily in order to use some cover in case you're getting spawn killed. This area here, you're going to be reaching like long lines of sight when you come around this corner. There's usually people with like rifles or snipers using that as a distance shotting area. Or around here you'll see people like hiding up in this corner kind of shooting down that way. And then you get here, you'll have sort of a bunker there where people use that for cover, and you'll also have some different varying levels of cover in the middle section here. We're going to continue along. Some people also use this. Not too bad. This is a jump up point. There's usually objectives here where the truck is, and you can actually hide in the back of the truck, and like a lot of people lie down in it with the omnidirectional movement, and then that leads you to the middle of the map there, but you can see there's a bunker spot on that side. That spot kind of lacks that, so you usually see people sitting there or on top of that truck. Let's continue around here on the side. Similar line of sight, see people over there, and you have the option to wall bop up into this spot in order to see people, and this will lead us into the opposing spawn, which is a lot more of a tighter space. You do get a little extra like cover availability. I don't really see people ever go in this truck, but it is an option. And you can see it leads into that truck in the middle. So we're going to go around the outside here. This is a room where there's sometimes an objective. It's kind of awkward because you see people, like I usually stand here and I'll see people climb up there and shoot at them. You don't see a lot of people in that area there. Opening doors. This is usually an objective spot too. You'll have people coming from there or people wall bopping up into that spot. And you'll usually get a mix of people, so like being here or people kind of being behind the desk or to the side over here. There's lots of little spots for cover. This leads out into the middle area where there's a truck you can use to shoot downwards over there. This is also a very common spot. A lot of people sit up here and they shoot down because you get great line of sight right into their spawn. And then of course people moving around the sides or people moving down the middle, and you get people to like kind of like wall bop up to this. I do this a lot where you wall bop up and you kind of shoot people, and it's a whole thing. So this would lead you right into the middle of the map. You see there's like some small little spaces. You get some people that like kind of sit here and like shoot in, or you know, sit on these ledges kind of spots, and it gives you a little bit of a viewing angle, a little bit of a camping spot. This area on the outside, you sometimes see people like wall bopping off of these things as they move around. It gives you a little bit of cover as you move to either side, and they look pretty cool. And then we have this connection point right over here. Takes you into the middle. Come up here, break the glass, and you see that leads you into the spawn over there. Cool. So from the spawn, going down the middle of the narrow hallway, you either have the option to go there, or a door to enter that way, or you go up into the little bunker spot, which kind of shows you a really good little vantage point here that you can shoot from. And then some people use like this kind of ledge right here is really good, and then of course you can come up and go into the truck like I had shown prior. But yeah, that's kind of the setup for this one. Just gives you a bunch of different little vantage point areas that you can use to fight one another across this map. This is Den, which is a little bit of a funkier map. Again, a bit of symmetry going on in this one, but it definitely has some neat variations. So here's a bit of a luxury spot. You can either go up the staircase there, or you can kind of wrap around and go underneath there, or you can go to the right off on that side, or to the left over into this spot. And this is where we will be heading. So you get a couple of side lanes you can move through, and this is where things really split off. So you either get a spot up here where you can kind of fight and shoot and see people coming through that door from that side or down the middle there. Additionally, people will be coming around the side here and kind of sneaking in because it gives you a little bit of a vantage point for people entering from the middle of the map. And then we've got this little kind of room there that kind of gives you a little bit of a spot. And then from this perspective, it's the same sort of thing, there, but it kind of doesn't give you a good line of sight to the left there, so people can sometimes sneak up on you. And then this is just like a tight little room you can use. And if we continue along here, you can go down that way, and alternatively this route here, and this is going to lead us into the opposing team spawn. In this spawn, you have similar options, a lot more open though. You can go that way, or around that way, or over in the middle. Or you can go around here, or you can kind of move around this area here, which is another part of the spawn. Just in case you get spawn camped, it just kind of gives you options. So this room, pretty open, not a whole lot goes on in there. Most people come up here and they either go down that way, Or they kind of watch out this spot here, which gives you a lot of lane options and access. Or you can come around here and get to the same point. So you're either jumping along the outside, or you're kind of wall bopping here in order to get into the middle. The choice is up to you and how you want to approach this area. I don't really see a lot of combat here, though I see a lot of people use this as like sort of a lane to get around. And then you can kind of just come up here. I see a lot of time people like fall and die too. And you can sit here and you can kind of shoot. And it's an awkward space, but it's definitely a little bit neat. A lot of people think it's just the castle map, but it's definitely, yeah, not. And we'll come back around and get into the spawn, and this time we will go down the middle. So you just kind of get a selection of rooms that kind of like branch off, take you back here, or you can kind of just enter right into the middle area. So the middle area is sort of a large kind of rectangular space. You get a lot of things. So this is like the middle area where some people come up there and shoot down from. You might get people up there. You might have some people sitting around in that spot, and it's very open for people to come from and go, and you can kind of jump up this way, and you can kind of get up into this upper area, which we kind of showed off right from the spawn, and that gives you a vantage point over the whole spot. It gives you a little bit of cover up here, which is nice. And then jumping down here, you can see where the middle kind of leads into this spot, like we showed off earlier, and it also gives you a full viewing angle of the area, but not a whole lot of cover. And they come around here, a lot of people use this spot to see there, so you don't get shot from above. This spot lets you see above, and kind of a little bit more of an open space. And then you come around here, and then you can come up and go to the higher level area and view down and shoot into the den spot. This is exposure, which is yet another mostly symmetrical map with a middle feed area, 2 spawns, and some neat outside areas that you can go around to travel. So we come up here from the spawn, you can go right down the middle, climb up onto that drum, go around the right side to the open spot, or go to the left over here. And there are some spaces around that you can kind of go in, some little hide areas, but you don't see a lot of people really taking advantage of these. So you come out here, long line of sight. You also can come up this way. You can climb up here, you can go down that way and get into the drum again, and you jump up here. A lot of people jump up on top of these things, and you'll see people shoot at each other across a very large distance either way. And then jump down here. A lot of people use the tank as cover. That'll lead you more towards the middle of the map. And then it's a similar setup here too, where you've got, you know, this sort of wall bopping to get up here. There's like little bits of cover, but people rarely use it. They just usually use this as like a traveling lane. Then you come around here, and then you get towards the spawn of the other team, where you can go up there, or you can come around here and get this little bit of a balcony edge, which helps, but unless you're seeing people, it's not a great line of sight. Great, so we're going towards the spawn, the side, again, very open, some trucks you can kind of move around, but you have the option from your spawn to go to that sort of building there, which is a great vantage point, lots of action in there. Go that way around from a narrow area, or come up here. Not a great line of sight, but if people are coming, you get the advantage. Run around here, and you get to the outside of the map. This gives you a lot of options. You can go up in this box that is moving sort of back and forth. You can use the walls to bounce up there, or the wall to bounce up there, and bounce point there. There's also a ladder you can climb there to get to the top, and that's a nice little vantage point. Some people sit here and kind of shoot people that go around in the middle, and you can also come around here to the edge of this map and back into the spawn, see similar balconies that we did on the other side. So we're from the spawn here. You can come up and use the ladder to get up here, or you can do some wall bopping stuff to get around. You come over here, you get a long line of sight, so that's the opposing spawn sort of area. There is the spot where the ladder takes you, and that's the spot you can wall bop, where a lot of conflict is in the middle there. You can choose kind of a couple options. It's like a lot of people, they wall bop there and get up here if you want to get up there fast, or you can go around to the left around here. Long hallway, you'll see people shooting at each other, rifles, sniper rifles in the spot back and forth between each other. And then you come out here, and it's sort of a very open area, not a lot of cover. You sit in this corner, it might help you get people. These things don't provide a lot of cover. It's a very awkward spot. You can also like sort of crouch here and it'll help you out a little bit, but not the best. Cool, and yeah, this is the other perspective side of this long, narrow hallway. And you can come down here and get into this space. Lots of battles here. There's usually objectives that leads into the spawn, as you can tell. This area is quite open. People hide down there. People sit up here and shoot people coming in that way. You can see the different vantage points. It kind of covers you from that door, and you can shoot people coming in. And of course, this gives you a great line of sight to people up there on the drum area, or around there, or on the other side, coming into the middle. Lots of spaces. And then, yeah, you can come here and sort of, like, wall bop off of that and hopefully land on it and get inside of there if you'd like in order to get to the middle, which is not working for me. And you die. But that's that map, basically. You just get, like, that little middle tower area, and it's like a line of sight to see that way or see that way. It's neat. This is Express, which is a remade map from Black Ops 2. This one is a train that actually goes down the middle of the map right there. You get main areas here are kind of this outside spot where you can kind of go on the train or get into this middle box and shoot either way. There's balconies on both sides, and then there's a big central spot that you can kind of fight over. Let's do this. So there is literally a train that comes and it goes along this lane and it can kill you. This has a lot of options for getting around. So you can sort of go down there to get to the central area. You can go down there to get to the central part of the map, or you can jump up here. There's a lane down that way. You can also go around there and go up into that spot. Most people come up here, and they come up here and shoot. You'll see people in the central spot, see people on the train, see people on the side, see people in the middle. And this will feed into the middle of the map too. You can jump down and go on top of the train, or you can move around here as well, seeing that there's little spots of cover, and you can actually go inside the train as well to get to the central area once again. Pretty cool, right? And this is, again, symmetrical for both sides. So that's a little spot down there, and then the train leads into the middle of the map, where you can see people there, there, and there. And a little bit inside the middle too, as it's got two window spots. And you can see that it's like sort of an open window on both sides, being, once again, symmetrical in design. So here you'll see people pop up, or they'll go around. Not a lot of action here. This is mostly just a way to get up into the middle. So you can see how this allows you to see people in that box, on the side, or in the middle there. Same on this side. Yeah. Cool, and then we climb down. You can see the entrance to the train spot there. There's another part on this side that lets you get around into the spawn, or over there. Then we come around, spawn point, another balcony area, the ability to climb and literally run across the train if you'd like to. So for the spawn, we can leave and go to the side here. There's a middle spot. We'll show that off later. We're going to go around to the outside. It's a very open space. There's sometimes objectives here. So you get people kind of using these as cover as they look to the other team's spawn or going up the staircase. And there's like this little elevator kind of cozy spot. You don't really see too many people go in there. And then that would lead into that spot. And then, of course, we have this a little bit more complicated area. So here's a box, usually an objective in here. People will hide around the corners and on top of whatever sort of thing they can get on in order to kind of like hide in that. And they shoot out here. You see people on the train or on the outside on both sides. Then you can go here. You see people coming that way. You look that way. You see people up there. Sometimes people climb up here. Use it as a little bit of box. Use it as a little bit of a lie-down spot. And it allows you to actually kind of see into that area, especially if you're up here, but you're very vulnerable in this area. But nice little up spot where you can kind of be like, oh, there's a guy there, the guy over there. Yeah, not too bad. Cool, so then this is the middle of the map. As you can tell, people on top of the train, people can see it from over there, people can see it from over there, and both sides. So we're just going to climb up the balcony on this side to show it off as we go into the balcony space. Come down here. And then you can see if we wanted to leave from the spawn point that we start at. This area has a number of little spots that you can kind of use for cover. These barrels are pretty infinite. At least they look kind of like barrels. You can see people over there, and there's usually an objective right in the middle for everybody to fight over. And then you just got two grass spots, one over there, one on there. And you kind of sometimes get people to hide in these corners. Not too bad of a spot. And again, watch out for the train that does come by and will mow you down. This is Flagship, which is a very, very small symmetrical map. It's very tight, but yet still open. So you've got many ways. You can either go right into the middle from there, or you can go up that way, or you can go around to the left here. You got a couple different little quick rooms you can use in order to have lines of sight. And this little room here, that'll give you a little bit of protection, but it's more of a walking in. Like, in theory, you could sit in here with a sniper rifle and shoot down across people all the way down there, but you don't see that too often. Then you can come up here. This area, usually sniper rifle guy there, rifle guy there. And you can see this gives you a little bit more of a vantage spot. There are some barrels that explode, and then this will take you to the middle of the map, where basically all the conflict happens. People hide there, 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 Or they might hide on the other side of this box right there, or sometimes even in those corners. You can use this to get down or to get up and get to the other side. Cool, let's go around this side. And like, you can use this spot to shoot people, and you know, same here and same on the other side. It mirrors itself. You might get some people to go back here, but you don't really see that ever. And then this leads you to kind of a big open view of the spawn. Kind of the same as the other side, right? You can go down the middle there. Or you got a little base. Go around to the outside. This area, a lot more kind of freedom here, so we're going to go up, but you could go down into the middle. This spot, you know, kind of watch the spawn there. Watch the spawn over there. Or go into the central spot again, just like we showed on the other side. And then you come down here, and then, like I said, you can either just access that way or access this way. It's really not complex, and as mentioned, this is a very small level and a very tight one for combat. This is Hijacked, which is another returning map from Black Ops 2. Run from it, hide from it, Hijacked always returns. It's a boat, there is an under area, but most of the action takes place at the top. So people will go up there and they will spawn camp you from that spot. You can access it from that ladder. There's the middle spot there. You can move to the right, or you can move to the left. Some people, they hide around different objects here. Usually that's just a spawn point. So you can come down here. Some people like to camp this spot, catch people going by. You'll enter the middle. This is a good little spot to use as like a launching point. You'll see people that way, in the jacuzzi and going around the side. The balcony is a level that you'll shoot down from. We'll show it off later. That's the middle. That's the outside over there. This spot, people hide around these ledges. People will hide right here. People will shoot out this way into that way, over there, or over there, or over there. And you see that mirrored from either perspective. And you can see on the side, you do the same sort of thing as far as vantage points. Then we'll come around here, and you'll see that this spawn is kind of the same as the other one, a little bit more open. It's really bad. Sometimes they're spawning where you'll just keep spawning. People will stand right here and just shoot at you as you spawn. And same spot right here too. As the spot does have like a little bit of a lower balcony area that people can spawn from. Here you'll come in, you'll either go to the right side, the left side, or down the middle. And of course you also have a staircase. This is an access point, that's how you get down below. This will take you to an outside little area, people snipe from all over there. And in the middle of the map right here allows you to see people up there, over there. Maybe in the jacuzzi, and then you can see people around that area. Lots of little hiding spots in the middle, because that's where objectives usually go. You come out here, people wall bop up, they shoot each other, they go back and forth, mostly an entrance area. Come over here into the middle. Jacuzzi, not used as much in this one, but you know, you can see people that way, and kind of a nice little cover spot to catch people coming into the middle section of the map. Let's go around to the outside. So we come in here. Pretty easy room, usually objective stuff. You can use this balcony. I catch tons of people right there. Like, it's not a balcony, it's a kitchen island. I also love using this spot. People come in that door, very easy to see them. And then you got like a little bit of a dining room right here that you can use. Lots of corners people hide in. You come up to the top. This is how you can see the spawn. Very open. Climb up here. Very, very open spawn point. That's the ladder right there, how to get up here. This room, not a whole lot of action happens in here. Most people come up to this spot and they use this to shoot across, shoot over there, shoot down. Cool. We're going to go underneath now. This is your entrance point. This is kind of a quick battle spot. There's usually an objective here. It's just crazy people around every corner shooting each other and stuff. It's pretty straightforward on what it is. There's not really an advantage to do anything specific there. So you come here, there's a spawn, come around, go into the middle, shoot through the door, go up to the top, see from this spot, people over there, people over there, people there, people there. Pretty straightforward, right? You come down, and you got this nice little room, and then you've got a spawn point where you can kill people from their spawn, or jump down here from the ladder. And that is Hijacked. Homestead is a very interesting level. Most of the action takes place in a central spot, but there's a lot of open areas and swimming paths that you can take to get around. Lots of just kind of open flowing areas with holes and little pockets. And it's just mayhem because there's like a zip line that goes down into the water. You'll have people running through that lane, running around the outside. You can go here, you'll catch people kind of in the central spot. It's A very zany level, and a beautiful one at that. And you can come this way, there's the bridge that leads you right into the middle where the action is. You go that way, you can go around here. A lot of this is just movement paths, and you just happen to come across people at bridge. Some people sit under the bridge and fight and shoot each other. You come up here, and there's a lot of ways to sort of enter the house. So you got people will hide up there, people will just run into the middle of the house from here. I have some people kind of looking around on the different corners. Again, a very, very distinct level setup, and you can get like little corner spots there to hide. People moving around, you get some people over in that area. It's a really neat flowing level, it really genuinely is. Then you come here, and of course, you know, like all those kind of swimming option and action you can do. And a lot of people will be up at the top of the stairs, sort of like getting people coming around that way, or sitting up here shooting at people coming from that staircase. It's really, really quite a neat level, and it adds a lot of mayhem to it because there's just people moving around in so many odd, sporadic ways. Similar house where you go down into the water there, and you can swim around if you'd like to. And then like a little bit of a spawn little area in that. It's so neat. You come up here, and then you go to the middle of the map, and you can kind of get into the to that way, the lodge. Go this way to go around there, or come to the middle of the map and go out this way, and that'll connect from where the spawn is. And then here, you'll have people at the top of the staircase, people there shooting down at you. You come into the lodge, it's very open. Lots of people hiding in different spots on this one. And you'll have people like sort of sitting, you know, kind of like right here. I actually love this spot because you see people coming to the door and people coming in that way. And then this enters into that area. Actually, some people like to hide around this corner, and you come in that way. And yeah, lots of little spots. And then this just leads to the upstairs where it's sort of an open space. And we just showed off that spot, but here you can see people coming to the door. But yeah, Homestead is a very, very neat, beautiful level, and it's got such hectic action going on. Imprint is an interesting level. It's sort of symmetrical, but it's got a little bit more variation to it, and this like moving platform down the middle. Really, really quite fascinating. So we're going to be showing this off from the spawn here. You can kind of move to the right and that outside spot. Some little building access. You can come down here, or you can go across the bridge and get down into the middle of the map. We're going to be going around to the outside. You can see there's lots of little corners and stuff people will go to. It's yeah, it's got some very different vibes. You can like wall bop up here. Go down around that way. Use this right here to kind of shoot people. Sniper rifle spots, really, really good here. And then you come around. You can see it's like just a little bit of a walk path. And then there's this moving platform that I just die all the time on trying to bop to from either side. But it's neat, they'll like stick an objective here, and then everyone will just hide in this place and absolutely just get blasted. It's awkward. Yeah, very awkward there. And then you can come up here. Great vantage point, good cover, good hiding. You can shoot down, see everything from there. And this leads you into this other spawn, and that'll take you to the middle of the map right there. Or you can come around up here, and we're just going to go around the outside, see that spot right there, that'll lead you in the middle there too. Come around here, sometimes this is an objective spot. You see people coming in from there, people camping down here and that. Come around here, we've got a wall bopping middle. Some corner spots. This is an area people will go in. You'll see people coming around that way. That'll lead to the spawn here, and this gives you a little bit of a vantage point in this area where you see people there, or see people bopping. And you can see that that leads into the spawn. Cool. Alright, let's go up. We're going to show off the wall bopping. You come in here, bop. And you go up there, you bop off that way, you come up here. And you're right into the middle, which is open. And you can see that we have, once again, our fancy spot. It came back up for us. That's so nice. So this area, kind of dangerous. So if we go to this spawn, you can see how this connects right here. And you can see how this goes to the spawn point right there. You come up here. A little bit of a drop spot. Takes you back to the bottom. And a viewage point. Shoot there, shoot over there. This side is mirrored, basically. See how this goes to this spot. Come up here. Shoot down. You see people in that spot. Over there, there. It just gives you a high-end advantage. And this door will take you right out to the open. There's the spawn. And there's this area right here. Pretty straightforward. Raid, which is another map from Black Ops 2. Run from it, hide from it. Raid always finds you. So this map has a central focus area, a couple little side spots, a big open area here, and an open water area. There are lots of ways to play Raid and lots of ways to go. So this way will take you over there. You can also go left to the basketball area, go to the middle of the map there, come around the side there, or come up here and you get a little bit of a vantage point to the open. You see people up there, so people come out of that. Or people run down the middle. Let's go to the basketball court. Here you can play basketball. Nailed it. This little room, people don't really hang out in there ever. And then you come out here, you'll see people up there. People might hide on this spot or that spot, mostly there. And you got a little bit of a water bar. You can go in and go for a little bit of a swim, hide in the water. People don't really do that. This is mostly just like a walking area for people to go either way. Nobody goes in the middle, little ring there, but you'll see people up here, up there. This leads you to the middle of the map, lots of action on these stairs. And you can see you can kind of climb up that way to get up to that room, or you can go around on the outside. Lots of people sit in this spot, use this as an vantage point, snipe, and so forth. You can also sneak around on the outside here, nice little spot. And you can use this to get up here and view down people that are hiding out in this area. Sometimes people like literally hide on the bed if you come up here and they'll like shoot and everything. It's a neat little area. Come around on the outside, people do actually kind of sit around this edge, gives you just enough cover for people coming by that they might not notice you. This is the opposing spawn, it's a car spot, people will hide around the corners and stuff in the car spot. Cars will explode, they will kill you. This leads to the middle of the map. You can go down that way, or you can come around this way, and it will lead you here. This room, good little spot to like kind of move through, not a lot of traffic. This leads you more towards the middle, and this leads you to the outside where the giant circle ring of the map is. A lot of people will come up here, and they will shoot down that way, and shoot up there, and shoot in the middle to watch you. This is a very good vantage spot. Especially since this middle area tends to have a lot of objectives in it, and lots of pieces of cover where you can kind of sit behind rocks, or lie down between objects. Then you can come up here, and you can see you go up there to get up there. A lot of people just run around. You'll see that enter just towards where the spawn is that way. And then you see some people use like the corners around here. Kind of nice. This vantage point, see people there, people coming out of there, people coming over here, and a little bit of a different vantage point for the objective. Some people like to hide in this spot. You can see here, that enters there, and this will take us back to the initial spawn. For us to cut down the middle of the map. The objectives are here all the time. People will hide in the various corners. This map really does have like a nice visual bump up with this, doesn't it? See people there, see people coming up that way. Yeah, very defensive spot. And this is the central area. People will hide in each of the four corners. On the outside corners, you'll see people use this as cover. It's actually a very creative level from this sort of design standpoint, and you see that goes down to the staircase here. Some people might like kind of come up here and sort of watch you in there. And then over here, you come in, lots of people sit here and they will snipe from the spot. Tons. And you see that leads right into the spawn, and then this way leads into the middle area where you can go down here, back to the spawn. Or up here, back to that spot we were showing off a little earlier. Retrieval is another really beautiful, unique map. You've got this sort of plain wing, and then you've got all these different varying levels of height and verticality. It's really quite interesting. So this spawn, you can go sort of over there, down the middle, or around the outside. This one's going to be really hard to show off because there's just so much interesting little spots. So you go off there, back into the middle, or you can go up there. You get to see a lot of different vantage points. We'll wrap back around and show that off. So you go around on the outside here, and you'll see this is a line of sight where you can see people will shoot at you from there. And then this leads you into a middle spot where you can see up over to that spot. People going down into the middle here, another vantage point as you catch people kind of going along these very long lines of sight. And then here, you'll see people come from their spawn that way, or they'll sit behind this rock and catch people over there. This area will lead you into the middle, a little bit of an ice spot. And then you come here through these ice caves, and it just leads you into the opposing spawn with multiple different options for how you get around, which is really, really cool. Beautiful, beautiful level. It's got such a unique aesthetic and style to it. Then from this spawn, you go that way to the left, or you come up here into the middle. This lets you see a lot of the map, a lot of the wing, a lot of where spots are people coming from, and that's the middle section where the plane was. And you can drop down, which is kind of nice. Come around here. You can go up here, but we're going to go down around this way. And we're going to show like they go down the middle is a lower area and an upper area. This spot is quite open. Not really a lot of vantage points, but like tight conflict as you move around to try to maneuver to the next spot that you want to go to. Very, very open spaces. You can see the wing area from here pretty well. A little covey down there you can go through, which is kind of cool. Where you go right back around, and you can see that leads you into the spawn over there. And this rock, you can climb up that way. Or you can climb around here. You see we're back at the yellow spot from where the spawn was. And we can go up here. There's objectives here sometimes. I like to sit on this spot, kind of shoot people coming up. Or you can go around here. You can see that spot over there where the wing is. Now we're going to go up and into the wing. And we'll show off this spawn area. People coming from there, people coming from there, people coming from over here. And then you come onto the actual wing itself. And this is a spot where a lot of people will kind of like shoot you there, or you hold an objective on the spot because it's like a long wing. There is some cover, some lines of sight. You also drop down here. You can see that leads into the spawn area over there. And there's like a middle container that you might see some people hiding. Other than that, pretty straightforward, kind of a cool level, and a very distinct visual aesthetic. Scar is a really cool level. It's got a building theme and then a lot of areas you can kind of move through. Sort of like a side spot there, but a lot of the action happens right down the middle of the map. I quite like this one. So this one you go right there to the middle, or you can go up there into that housing spot. We're going to go around the left side here. You can see that there's like a lower spot, a middle spot. You can sit up here and kind of shoot down on people, but it doesn't give you the best of cover. Here's a good spot if you want to see right into the middle. And we're going to take the lower part of the plane. I use this as cover to see people up there. And you can just see how open this map is. See from this spot, you can look up there and see that area. We're going to go back and go up around, just so you can see the plane a little bit. You can see that you can kind of use the plane on both sides and sort of shoot there or to shoot over this way. It's very versatile, but yeah, there's some very, very open spaces on this map, which are kind of neat. And then this will lead us over towards basically like the spawning spot of the other team. We have this building here you can move into. I'm going to kind of show off, so you can kind of come here and you go into that house, you go around that side, or you go around to where we just were. We're going to go into the house, very open, very, very open space. A little bit of a nice little spot that you can use to kind of move around quickly. Nice little hallway. Leads to a second level. Lots of people hide in the different corners all over this one. And then you get a second level here, which allows you to kind of look this way or come out here, and you can kind of see into that spot, or you can see over there, long line of sights. Or you can see people moving down the middle of the map here as well. You're just not really covered. That's why you'd sit here and you'd see all the way across the map. Or here to see people coming down that lane. And then you can see also there's this side you can use as cover. You come around these little sandbags to give you like a little bit of a bunch of corner spots. We're going to go around the outside here to the kind of like motel spot. You can kind of come up here and you can see people in the lower spot. You can see people coming from that house, people coming from on top of the rooftop. A lot of conflict sort of happens as people bop up and down this area. And you can see there's like a little bit of a lower area there, so you can hide in that corner, catch people coming out this way. Or hide around all these other objects too, as you see people kind of enter the middle of the map. And we're going to just quickly show off this spot here. You see it goes up there, and that would be the spawn over here that you start in, or that we started in. And then you come around here, and this spot is largely just open to destroy a giant mech thing. You can see that enters that area we were showing off earlier. And then it's just like a little bit of a tight covered store area you can go around in and see people. Not tons of cover, but lots of cover that you sort of move by and kind of roll through, and lots of little vantage points you can use to shoot people from different distances. But this is a map that seems to flow a lot more with people just moving back and forth, which is kind of cool. And then this balcony here is a great command spot, just because it gives you a heightened advantage. You can see over there, you can see all the way to there, down, down. And this is kind of a spot that you can come around here and you can look there, and it also lets you see over to where the airplane is and see the side where the spawn is. But what I was going to show off before kind of getting sidetracked is that this, right from the spawn, right off the bat, you can come up here and get a beautiful vantage point of the whole level. The forge, most of the action takes place in the center of the map, or the two closed off buildings. There are many ways to go around. We've got that spawn over there, this spawn over here. So when you start, you can go up there, and you can go down the middle right here, allow you access to that spot, or to the central hallway. or lots of entryways into the building over there. Now we're going to go around to the left here. This spot is quite open. There are many corners that people will hide in. You can see people on that balcony. You can see people coming down the middle. Here you come up, you'll see people running down the middle there. There's usually objectives here. People will hide amongst the plants because, you know, you don't really get noticed, and it allows you to see the room pretty well. You can wall bop up to the second level. See, that's where the spawn is over there, but you can like wall bop up. Go down. This will take you to the center of the map. Rotating circle turret. Here we'll go up the ladder. This will allow us to come to this middle balcony area where you can shoot people down there, or in the central spawn where the cover is moving. That leads you onto that side of where the spawn is, but we're going to continue along here to the left. And this is an open space. Sometimes people will hide around the corners. Both sides. This area allows you to also see into the middle pretty well, but in a covered spot. This will take us to another balcony area, or you can go around here, and this will take you to the spawn. This spawn seems to have an advantage where you don't get spawn killed as much as the other side does. So here you can go use that way to get there. You go down the middle, or you can go around to this outside. This will take you into the building. There's usually an objective here, and you get lots of people that hide within the cover here just because it provides quite a lot of cover. And people will go on the top there, and they'll go up there and shoot down at you. It's a lot going on here. And you can go here, and you can see right into the middle of the map again. So we're going to come around, and we're going to go up here. This is a really good spot to see people that way. But a lot of people like to come up here where it is very open and you're vulnerable, but it allows you to kind of get a little bit of a vantage point as you walk in here, and go back to the spawn, or come from the spawn, and see the balcony area here over there. Come up here. This is your balcony side. You can see over there. You can see over there. Middle, and people shooting and fighting in the middle of the map for objective stuff. This will take you to a server room. People love to hide in the server room, shoot people in the server room. It goes back and forth. Offices, people hide under all this stuff and around this stuff, and people hop around here. It's very awkward, honestly. And then you can see how this would lead us back into this initial spawn. This side is really bad for spawn killing. Like, I've had many people stand up here and they'll see me spawn here and they'll shoot me. And that's kind of annoying because it just gives you that high ground advantage, which can drive you crazy. Come back here, using the balcony to reconnect, and we're going to show off the center of the map. This area is really neat because it's like a rotating circle. You see that spawn there, that spawn there. You're very vulnerable, so you're kind of moving around with the cover in order to sort of use it as cover, and if somebody's shooting at you, you may want to move and get into this other spot. And yeah, it's really quite a neat, different sort of level with the movement system kind of thrown in there. Toshin is a very, very distinct level. It offers many cool hiding spots and little areas you can go to. Most of the conflict is the central part of the map, but you get all these like mini battles as you go through all these little vents and areas. So you can go around that side, you can go down the middle, or you can go up there to get to this upper spot, but we're going to go around the left here. You don't see many people go into this space, but you come up here and you'll see this very luxurious area that you can sort of enter. Some conflict here, people use this back and forth as a bit of a cover to shoot people. You can slide down and go into the vent, or you can come around here. You'll see that there's like a little bit of a train for some cover, and you can go down that way to get to that side of the spawn, but we're going to use the vent to show that off. So this allows you to go down and into like a little bit of a middle spot here where you can see people coming from that spot, or from in there, or from around there. Very, very different. You don't see a lot on this side. It's mostly the karaoke place, but you can come up here. You can use this to bounce up. Wall bopping, am I right? And then we're just going to go back to the spawn and show off this side sort of route here. And you can go this way through this alleyway, but people don't really do that ever. You also go around here and come up here and go around. So I was saying, there's like lots of really cool little hideaway spots and little areas to go around. Huge line of sight. You see people shoot back and forth in this area. Then you can come down here. This is a middle spot. You see lots of people here shooting up into the karaoke spot, shooting this way. You see a lot of people lie down in these areas and they kind of like hide up. And then yeah, we kind of went up that way. We bopped up. We're going to go around this way. So you can go into the train, which I see a lot of people do. And you see it's kind of mirrored too on both sides as far as like these little cover spots that allow you to hide out. And it's a little deceiving because you sort of think you can kind of go up here, but you can't. It's closed off, but you can run down this way, you can come up to this spot. around here, come up here. A lot of people, they just use this as like a bit of a wall bopping up into the karaoke spot, because the karaoke room is really cool. And it's also really interesting because it gives you this like ledge area to kind of come up around, and it leads you to like this sort of spot of the map again, so you can see the train, how they both have their own little hidey spots, as to say, vent little spots that take you places, which is really, really cool. And then this just kind of leads into another spawn area on this side with a big circular spot that you can use. You see how this gives you options to go around right into the karaoke or go around the outside here. It's a little small side building. And then, yeah, you can see how that leads back into the middle of the map. Or you can come up here into the karaoke space where a lot of people fight and kind of like hide, and you stand up here a lot, shooting people coming from there and there. And then you're right back into the karaoke action. And it's very neat as a level. It just offers a lot of quick, tight spaces and neat little areas to kind of sneak around in and get people. It's really, really cool.